trees and pine trees that I used to climb right where the In-N-Out Burger is, a block away.
Yeah.
Went to and probably got sort of semi-roughed up, beat up at Ray's school down the street.
That's where I went.
Yeah, it was tough. Got 40 swats the first year.
I just had one.
You only had one? I'm sorry, did you go there too?
No, I lived at
Welling.
Cove Street, C-O-V-E, Cove.
Ah, which, I don't know.
That's
right
behind
behind
Ray-
the field.
It's
right
a-
behind Ray.
Oh, it is?
He
Okay.
threw
Yeah.
the balls at my pool.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we.
That
She
was
probably beat you up.
That's right, probably was. You know, all right, we got to talk after this. So the probably got my first driver's license. Well, for sure we did. Both Mike and I did got our first driver's licenses at the DMV right here, right?
What are you doing living in San
Me, I
Clemente?
think it was an old Dodge Dart that my dad gave me. Boy, I had some fun with that one. But go ahead. What?
What are you doing living in San Clemente?
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
you know, that's a woman's fault.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We understand.
I understand. No more. You don't have to say anymore.
Yeah. I like it down there.
Yeah.
You know, we've
I
got
do
the
too. I
Marine
like it.
spray protecting our backside, so to
Yeah.
speak, from to get to the reason I'm here, what I think is overdevelopment. Out of my love for nature that I developed here in this town, right, climbing these trees, riding my bike for 30 years to the end of 19th Street, through Talbot, and down to the river mouth to surf.
Mhm.
You know, that developed an intense appreciation for nature for me all through the 60s and 70s. That was my orientation, and I learned that in the hills all around here, our great ocean. And so, over the past, let's say, 20 years, my frustration has been building with, you know, with the density of development and the amount of development and the number of places in our region that are just have been covered up. And so it's out of that, you know, that sort of sense of balance that I don't see that we have tilted far away from the balance. It's just a philosophical, so you know where I'm coming from, right? That sense of balance with the natural world, because I know its importance. Definitely, I live and breathe it as much as I can. So, you know, I've almost been compelled. I had to start the organization that I'm calling the Nature Commission, and you know, I hope to devote as much time as possible, if not all my time, to it. Because for me, it's a gigantic priority for our society, for this world, because I think this is mankind's challenge in the decades and you know, to come, and perhaps the next couple of centuries, to come into balance with nature and not take too much more of it than we have already taken, because we've taken a lot all over the world, right? And so, in regards to Talbot, you know, we have Fairview, which is under some pressure perhaps for ball fields out on the Fairview Mesa. We have then Talbot, which is a very organic, simple little place. It's the way it was when Mike and I rode our bikes through that area, right? Played ball, everything, mini bikes even, the era of mini bikes even. I forget what hilarious little machines those things were. And you know, so long ago, Talbot is a rare thing to sit like it does. Banning, if you combine, if we, by foresight and by making the right choices and forcing a good long deliberation on what we do in a stretch of open land, wild land that can be converted and left wild as something like a state park over the long run, with those three properties, Talbot, Fairview, and Banning combined, we have a gigantic asset for the community and for the region, and to use, you know, a greater sense of responsibility for nature. Because the bigger a place is, the more contiguous it is, you know, the larger the mass of a piece of nature, the more use it is for habitat, the more attractive it is, and the greater the benefit we as individuals get from that to detach from everything. So along those lines, I filed comments on the EIR for the sewer line project, because I think that the destruction that it would cause, the manholes and everything, is just, they're unjustified. I think it would need a real emergency, sort of, I believe, a real hardcore need to justify this project. If you, can I advance it and so you can see a couple of photos?
Yeah,
You want the next slide?
Okay, next
Yeah.
slide. Yeah.
we gotta hurry this up though,
Okay,
because it's,
all right, sorry about that. So this is what we have, right, this little area is the section right where the pipeline, where the sewer line would go, near the Santa Ana River. This is looking back towards the end of 19th Street. You can go ahead and move to the next slide. All right, this is more of that, a little bit closer to 19th Street. And there is no way that this area will look like this, as dense as it is, after this kind of a project. I've seen what's happened with, I believe it was the Bitter Point project that was done near at the base of Banning. That significantly changed everything. Next slide. So I also believe, by virtue of some of our experience in dealing with issues related to Banning Ranch and contesting that development, that the Coastal Commission can and should, especially with some public support, ask for a real hardcore justification of this project. That seems to be what they do very, very frequently. I think that alternatives, on the idea of alternatives, Talbot shouldn't be touched. Unless we have an emergency with this sewer line, to back off and say, all right, let it be done on the streets, concurrent with some other project, right? Just wait. Especially if it is to serve, if it really is to serve in any way an increased density in the west side. Go ahead and next slide. So the local community. I attended the OC Parks meeting a little while ago. That was about a month and a half ago or so at the Costa Mesa Community Center. Most of the people who got up to speak, and the people sitting at my table, there were about 50 or 60 people there. I'm sitting in a group of about 6 or so, and they were just rabid about leaving the Talbot alone. Why were they expressing that? Because the OC Parks Department was getting input on what they might do out there, which we know will include a proposal for a parking lot just about exactly where this is. And again, it's another project that is perhaps with a good intention, but the effect on a place that is organic like this is wrong. Go ahead and, all right. So I've also spoken in regards to this with Chris Bunyan, who's a candidate for city council. He is adamantly opposed to the project. I've spoken verbally with, and in fact I confirmed Chris's opinion on this as I was, just this afternoon before I came up here. Mr. Jay Humphrey, a council candidate, also feels that way. I don't want to, I'll just say that, that's up to him to make a hardcore statement, but I know he feels that way about Talbot Fairview because he is running partially on the platform of protecting Fairview from any further incursions. So I think that we could just really think about what we could do and use funds that might be used for this kind of project to somehow begin to generate larger mitigation funds, just as a creative idea, mitigation funds that we could use to somehow carve out more spaces like this to put towards, for instance, the purchase of Banning from the development interests. And that's, if we did that over the long run, we are acting in the biggest interest, in the longest, the widest vision of long-term interests of the community that way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Sorry.
I invite you to meet with Scott and any clarification on this project. You know, I get a feeling you don't have a total understanding of what we're trying to do, because in our project, there's a lot of money, you know, for rehabilitation, or not rehabilitation,
Mitigation.
but mitigation of this, and we're as concerned about that as you are.
Right. I know.
So you know, we're on basically we're not on different pages, but we have a job to do, and that's to get rid of pump stations that are now creating a footprint of you know,
Where are those pump stations?
there's seven, seven?
Six.
Well, there's 6 for us and 1
Six,
Newport Beach,
right,
and 1
right.
county one.
And they're not all in the Talbot area, but I mean they're around that general area. Yeah.
Okay. These are pump stations? Yes. The number-
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but they're.
I'll take a look at those. Oh, you got this one.
I think these are our 6.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And there's 1 county one and there's 1 Newport Beach.
And you
Got
know,
it.
they're using.
That's what the engineers at OC Sanitation said. It was
Right.
largely, the advantage was energy savings.
Exactly.
To avoid going up.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
polluting that area too, you know, to some degree. So I mean, you got to consider those things.
Right.
And what we're doing is just going to use gravity for the sewer,
Right.
and try and you know, mitigate the impact on the area as best we can.
Right.
So
Well, you know, I can tell you that most people think that this is for the development of the west side and Banning Ranch.
No,
we're not upgrading
not-
the size of it. We're not doing a
Zero,
damn.
not a zero?
No,
not
not
Okay.
at all.
Okay, well, that's good. I'll
Has
correct
nothing-
any impressions.
it has nothing
on
to do
that.
with it. I mean, at least from our standpoint, it doesn't. We've
Not-
been working on this for 10 years.
At least.
Yeah, but you know, I'm sorry, I don't know what the solution is,
Yeah.
you know, but I can tell you that Talbot is so important. If you,
Yeah.
you know, if you go out there and walk that place,
I don't know that are there any of these in the Talbot Park
Well, the
itself?
line's gonna go, part of the line's gonna go through Talbot,
Yeah.
and that's where we're gonna have the mitigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the line
Yeah.
that's gonna go through there.
Just that
got-
one,
got
that one area,
manholes
yeah.
and everything. I just, you know, I guess it's, if there was a solution, it would be creative solution time.
Yeah.
So
But let's,
that's the way
sit-
we would
you
look
know,
at
you can sit down with our people and look at the specifics of it, and, you know, and then we can work on solutions, you know.
Okay.
Plus,
Okay.
maybe invite him to come to the next meeting we have Orange County Sand District.
Yeah,
Because they're
they're the lead agency.
I understand that myself and another.
Yeah, I
gal.
was there, I'm
Oh,
on
you
that
were there?
board, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, nice boardroom they've got.
yeah.
You guys got to get it upgraded.
We're local guys.
Yeah, we're just little
Yeah, This is
guys.
good enough.
You know, this is good enough.
Is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Okay.
coming, Kevin,
All right,
appreciate it,
gentlemen.
yeah.
We know
And
what you're
ladies.
talking about.
Do ya? Yeah.
And, you know, I've never heard of a parking lot from our end.
Good to see you, buddy.
We have no parking lot going in.
No, no,
Right.
it was that other, it was the,
Banning Ranch.
no, the park.
No, it was
Orange County
it was the
Parks.
park. So
Oh,
in the
that's
name
it.
of access, in the name of access, a parking lot will go out there. You see, so what you do is you lose the fundamental, that organic, that's like just a kid's play thing. All of this destroys that feel. You know what I'm talking about, Mike,
Oh, yeah,
right?
I know.
And
Yeah.
you
That's where I
can't,
grew
you
up,
can't
right
do
there.
that,
I
right?
grew up at 19th and Arbor Street. I was always in that park.
Yeah, we all were out there,
Oh,
man.
every day almost, every day.
So every day. So it's, you know, there's just too little left is the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is, but
Yeah.
we, you know, that we can't replace that. The sewer line could probably go somewhere else at some damage to either power or what have you, but Talbot can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
That would be my point, right?
Yeah.
So
I would say that we
it's a
invite
question of
Kevin
values.
to the next meeting we have at Orange County Sanitary District. When we discuss it like twice a year. And they give us updates on what the progress
Yeah.
is.
OC San does?
And they meet
Yeah.
with us and they talk about the whole.
Okay.
You may want to put your address down
Or
here.
your phone.
and- Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it there.
And then we'll notify you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely want to work with you.
Okay.
Make things happen. the
We'd
right
be,
way.
I'll be glad to get a couple of people together and say, you know, all right, what could we do?
As long as
I don't
you,
know.
as long as you have an open mind,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah,
so,
as much as possible. I don't know about that, huh?
okay.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, thanks so much. Good
Take
seeing you.
care.
Okay.
Thank you for what you do.
Okay.
Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Take care.
Okay, consent calendar, are there any items on the consent calendar that would, any board member would like to pull?
I move for approval. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. No public hearing. What, budget? Wait a minute.
That's part of the
That's
consent.
Paul, yeah, okay. General manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 10 is regarding expanding our shared services program with Orange County Sanitation District. As you know, this week is the first week that Dean Martinez, who's the is one of the senior human resources analysts at OCSD, began working for us here. She's still technically an OCSD employee, but she's providing that shared service with us of expert personnel, HR experience, as well as helping us with risk management. It's going well this week. Again, it's only the first week, but to piggyback on that shared services program, the cooperative agreement type of program with OCSD, I'm suggesting that we also look at having OCSD staff help us review plans when our district engineer Rob Hamer submits plans when he's the engineer of records for private development.
I think that's brilliant myself. huh?
I've talked to their general manager,
Yeah.
Jim Herbert. He's all for it. He thinks this is a great idea. I've also reached out to Rob Thompson, because it would be his staff that would be providing us service to us. He hasn't got back to me, but the initial reaction, first of us, was this sounds like a good idea. So I wanted to bring this to the board's attention. If you don't have any objections, I will proceed. And if we come to an agreement with terms, we'll execute an agreement.
Would the terms be similar to what we've been paying?
Well, actually, the cost will be less.
Less.
Oh, less.
Less, yeah, right
Yeah,
now.
a lot less.
Yeah,
$50 an hour left.
Yeah.
we pay about $130 an hour, and it'll be about $83 fully
Yeah.
burdened.
Yeah.
That's great.
How does it, from a logistical standpoint, do we just get billed from OCSD for the services, so there's no
Yes.
pension liability on our part? It all goes.
No, because they're
to
still an employee for the district.
Yeah.
Is paying the straight rate, and so they're paying their.
Kind of like a subcontractor, 1099 type situation.
Well, there's no.
Actually, it wouldn't flow to the person, it goes to the district, so
Right.
there's no 1099,
Right.
because we're
Right.
Gotcha.
contracted
Yeah.
with another government agency.
Right.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say, is everybody in agreement, go forward on that? Yeah.
Sounds great.
Do we need a motion to do this, or?
No,
is
it's
it within
just
your purview?
there's no. It's just for your information. So if I don't have any objection, I'll proceed.
Well, we have to change, isn't there a present policy with?
It's a miracle.
Employment of Bruce Matter,
There's a.
resolution
There
or
might be a resolution.
there's something,
Oh,
They
okay.
need
it's
to-
codified somewhere.
If he goes out the end of
I'll look at
December.
that. I'll bring that back. Today's really more information, so maybe the first step just needs some. Make sure the board's okay, and then I proceed. So, great. Thank you.
It does require the board to appoint, so that'll be part of the action.
Right.
Yeah.
Check Rob's contract also. There might be language in there.
You mean Bruce's?
Well, no, both of yours.
Rob's contract wouldn't have anything to do with it.
I believe it would. In the explanation that you just gave, I think is in Rob's
It's in the
contract.
code. It's actually in the code.
Code?
Bruce
Okay.
indicates
But
he
you
doesn't
can
want.
Take an
check,
extra
just
2
to check,
minutes.
just to check, just to make sure.
3.01045.
It's in the code.
Bruce just indicates he doesn't want to go ahead and pay
Buy the
that
insurance.
money for the insurance.
I just want
Yeah,
every
but Bob has a
document
point.
to
He
be
Yeah.
the
just, he just
same.
wants to make sure it's
Yeah.
set.
Dot the i's,
That's
cross
smart,
the t's.
just to look and make sure.
Okay, item 11.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This was a request by the board to amend the code that sets procedures for board members placing items on the agenda. Before you tonight is ordinance 101. It's just really a minor change, and basically this, if you approve the ordinance, what will happen is that under oral communications and director comments on your study session or your board agenda. Any board member can request an item be placed on a future agenda, and then based on a majority vote, that item be placed on a subsequent agenda.
Okay.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I move approval of ordinance.
Second.
Question?
Number 101.
Discussion?
If and I guess this is gonna go to Alan, if a board member says, I wanna put something on the agenda, because it's, the Brown Act says it's gotta be agendized already, I mean, does this give us the latitude to vote on something at a board meeting?
Yes, I think it does. I think you have to have some way to get it before you to have the vote. As long as you're not taking action, placing it on the agenda is not taking the action itself.
Okay.
But this question does come up, and I think it is appropriate. Otherwise, it could be the president and the manager establish the agenda, and this is just another way for somebody to put it on there. And some cities have 2 votes puts it on the agenda. So.
Okay, from a sense of transparency, this makes a lot of sense to me because the public is going to be at a meeting, they're going to hear the things that we want to do. I just want to make sure that we can take a vote on something that's not already on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could take a vote to place it on the agenda, but no
Perfect.
action will be taken otherwise. Other than that.
Got it, okay.
It was a good question, though.
Yeah, that's a good question. We have
Further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Item 12.
Thank you, Mr. President. Wendy Davis, Finance Manager, will be giving this report.
Thank you. Attached is the quarterly budget versus actual report. Finance estimates there will be small savings in both funds as there was last year. It's really hard to project with so little data at this time, so we pretty much estimate everything is fully spent at this time. So it's just for your information at this point.
Any questions of Wendy?
No, just a comment. There's so little data. It always amazes me that you multiply the expenditures times 4 and it's half of that. So it must be that there's a lot of expenses come in.
Yeah.
You know expenses that are going to come in. And, it's almost...
Yeah, the majority of the district's expenditures are in salary, which are consistent, and so that's easily projected. But the rest of it is, we have a vendor, National Plant, that bills us once a year.
Yeah.
They do the
So
work
that
all
comes
year
in,
long,
okay.
and so it's very skewed. It's
That's
hard
amazing.
to project. And
How could you do that?
I always
didn't
like
realize
I always like that the answer is
Is that right, Wendy?
what's
Cash flow?
Yeah.
Wendy, is that
That's a
right?
great question.
They bill us once a year?
after they do the work.
Yep, they wait till the very end.
Are you kidding me?
We ask them
How
all the
can
time
they-
to progress bill us, and they just will not.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
$126,000 last year, all in one
It's
payment.
one healthy cash flow company.
Wow.
Is that made out to one of the individuals at National Plant?
No,
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's weird.
amazing.
it's the nature of it. Some of the vendors are really good about, they're out there doing the work and handing the invoice to Steve or
Sure.
to Rob, and other vendors are just, you're calling, asking them. we're-
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
You got people that need to be paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Item 13.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Again, Wendy Davis will be giving this report.
This is the annual report of carryover encumbrance requests. Essentially, these are projects and purchase orders that we created a contract for the services or the money last year, and we're carrying it over into this year. It's essentially reappropriating the money. It's bringing the budget forward into this year to continue the project and to build the projects, or to finish out. Maybe we ordered some equipment and it wasn't delivered as of June 30th, so we need to carry that forward. So this is just an annual,
Just cleaning it up, huh?
yep,
Okay.
closing it up.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Strategic Plan Quarterly Progress Report. Scott?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This is your first quarter report, and we're approaching our fifth year of our five-year strategic plan. So next year we'll have to do it all over again and look at adopt another five-year plan if you want to. But a couple notes I wanted to mention to you on the Parks report presented today. One is that regarding the inflow reduction goal under strategic element 1, we did, as you recall, a few months ago, we got maps from the city of Costa Mesa showing us where in the city the streets are prone for flooding, we have historical flooding.
Yeah.
And in those maps, it shows not only where the streets are flooding, but where the manhole covers are located. And we saw some manhole covers in those flood zones. And so staff went out and plugged and sealed all those manhole covers, and that is complete. So we finished, and that was close to 100 manhole covers that they sealed in flood. The second item I want to bring to your attention is the permanent emergency equipment that we're installing. As you know, there's two we're still working on, the generator over at Irvine, and then we're going to put a bypass pump over at 23rd Street. We want to do a little bit different direction for 23rd Street. Instead of putting a bypass pump, we want to put a generator in there, because what we're finding is that the bypass pumps that we installed at Victoria and specifically in Mendoza is requiring a lot of maintenance on our part. We are exercising the bypass pumps every 2 weeks. In fact, the power outage that occurred last Friday night, and I told you that the bypass pump at Victoria worked great. Well, the reason it worked great is because our staff was there Friday afternoon working on 4 hours, making sure it was working properly. And so if they weren't there, that pump probably would not have worked. What was happening, we were seeing some greases build up into the pump. And so they're working with, my staff is working with Rob trying to correct that. And I had a meeting with staff, and I said, okay, staff, if you prefer a generator or a bypass pump at 23rd, what is your preference? They all said generator. We want a generator there. It would just be easier maintenance. If we see how well the generator is working at Canyon, so and it'll probably save us a little money too. There's less piping we have to do. I think the equipment's not as expensive as a bypass pump. Rob's pretty much got everything underway. We just have to tweak it a little bit.
Logistically, it's the same space? Or?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think there's much change in the stage, right? It's pretty much the same. So I want to bring that to your attention that we want to install a generator there instead of a bypass pump. It'll be less cost.
Is that the one that's set back?
Yes. Yes.
And is that, we have to approve, we already have approval for the city, right?
Not officially. We're still in plan review. And
What's the difference between a bypass pump and a generator in terms of mechanically what Rob is looking at?
A generator provides electricity, that's it. So, for instance,
Yeah, I mean, with what the problem is and how they would each fix the problem.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if the power goes out, a generator supplies power to the station. If there's a backup pump there, the backup pump is independent of the existing pumps. So if both pumps were to go out, not just from power, but malfunction or something, the backup pump is completely independent of the primary pump. So it would go on automatically go on, and it would take the place of the pumping station. So it's a little more comprehensive in that it is electricity and a motor, but it's also a pump. So it's a little more comprehensive backup than a straight generator.
And by saying it was a bypass pump, it means, it doesn't necessarily mean it bypasses the line. It just is a backup. A backup is a better word for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Bypass
Okay.
is
I thought it was
right,
like
it's-
routing at a different,
Yeah,
other than
no,
a line or something.
it's backup.
Okay.
We've used the term bypass.
Well, yes, we use the term bypass, and we also use the term standby. We
There's
shouldn't
different
use
thing
either.
that's on the
For this
Backup.
application, yeah. Well, one thing I would suggest, if you find grease is building up, that clogs the pumps and the piping, is that staff take a different maintenance approach rather than cleaning the grease out. Maybe just go out and shut the station off periodically, like every other day or something, and make that pump work more often. You know, it depends on whether that's more time consuming than physically getting the pump apart.
We had a meeting today, all the maintenance people at my office and all, and I'll be sharing that conversation with Scott tomorrow. And we do have some ideas, and we're going to institute those immediately. So we have some ideas, probably 2 or 3. We're going to start step by step and work our way through those. So we think we'll.
Okay, well,
I have a
We
question.
had a little problem with Mendoza right off the bat, and we fixed that, so, we're good with fixing these things. And
Mhm.
Eldon has not had any problems at all.
So one difference would be if the, if your indulgence, Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
If the, pump went down because of lack of electricity, the generator comes on, but if the valve is stuck, that's not gonna fix that. Whereas the pump, the back.
I mean, more
Yeah.
than talking about, if they have a major earthquake, it's gonna affect we're in
yeah,
deep
yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
So all that's, if they really thought, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's necessary.
So, at any rate, that's on the thing. Let's move along. Sanitary River Flood Control, we
No,
didn't,
no meeting
Yeah.
this today. It'll be next quarter.
ISDOC,
Executive committee meeting on the 7th. Bill Nelson from the CSDA board gave a pretty lengthy, he always gives a pretty lengthy report, talking about the Academy in Anaheim coming up. I talked a little bit about the conference the end of last month. He's always comprehensive, and that was it. John Withers talked a little bit about LAFCO and about a South County study and that they're undertaking. We talked about future speakers. We're going through a whole list of speakers, and oddly enough, the speaker I keep pushing for and they keep passing her over is Lucy Jones. I mean, she's on our short list. They keep wanting to get people like John Morlock and Pat Bates. Well, we've heard them before. And probably will continue to hear from them. So, and I can report to you that the election of officers for ISDOC was completed on October 17th. The ballots have been counted, and yours truly has been elected the president-elect.
all right. Congratulations, Mike. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna run the meeting on is that the 30th?
I will be in Sacramento for SDRMA on the
Really?
30th. Yeah. So they'll announce my whatever.
They just have a life-size picture. They can hold up.
It's a rather large picture. Yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations, that's great. CSDA,
Do I get to say something? Oh, okay. I never know. CSDA, you might want to write down some dates. Pushing Over Leadership Academy is November 16th to the 19th. And there is a board secretary clerk conference, and that's February 12th and 13th in San Diego. And SDRMA is having a safety claim education day on March 24th, 2015 in Sacramento.
Let me tag on that one real quick.
Okay.
That single day, and Scott, I'd like you to take a look at that, because that single day conference, if you have someone in the district that's kind of handling safety and the claims, it may be worthwhile sending someone. That conference for one day is really, really good.
Okay.
I'll be in attendance, of course, for SDRMA, but I just wanted you to put that on your radar.
Okay.
Who would represent our district on that? Just for curiosity. Yeah.
Don't know right now.
Is it, well, you know, they have to look at the abstract when it comes out.
I may get that this next week when I'm up there.
One comment on the November conference. They sent a thing to me that they reduced the price of that conference. What was
Yes,
the reason?
$200.
What was the reason for that reducing it? Did somebody complain about that?
I don't know.
No, it was to get more people to attend.
Oh, okay. Was that what it was?
Yeah, and I let Nolani know
So
about
you,
that.
you have everything.
She'll be
that's-
getting a
Okay.
credit
Yeah, I got it
to the
too.
Connecticut.
November?
Nice.
It's November 16th to the
The
19th.
leadership
The
one.
one in Anaheim.
I think I'll be out of town. Oh,
Yeah.
This
yeah,
is
definitely.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, me
I'll be
too.
in Nashville.
I wanted to go, but I
There's some
can't.
good stuff. I've
Yeah, there
I've
is.
already circled some stuff that I'm
There's
gonna
Yeah.
do.
something good every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, very
Mr.
good.
President?
Okay.
Yes,
If there isn't any other legal business, may I be excused? I have a function with,
absolutely. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
thank you.
Let me know if
You
you
also.
can't get out. I'm right
Oh,
behind.
yeah, okay.
Can I just, before Ellen
I
leaves,
think you can do it.
you know, our, the planned Christmas party is at December 11th?
Yes.
Is the district having their day off the Monday, the 10th? Because that's the 11th is a national holiday, but people celebrate it on the 10th. It's like
No,
that.
no, you're thinking of,
You're thinking of
December.
November.
November.
Veterans Day.
Well, that's right, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's December, you're right,
Yeah,
sorry,
well, okay.
never mind.
Yeah.
That's
Pearl
okay.
Harbor Day's not a
Yeah.
You
national
don't have to
holiday.
do it.
No, never mind.
So
that.
everybody,
December 11th.
everybody
Yeah,
does
December
know
11th.
about the
That's
Christmas
not the
party,
Chinese.
right?
Yeah,
Chinese,
yeah.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna be having invitations go out.
Yes, we will.
Good to get it on the calendar, though.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not done.
No, I know, I was gonna say,
Thank you.
would you please finish?
Okay. I shut up. Okay,
me to
special
give you a
districts
flashlight?
legislation days is May 19th and the 20th. And so you might want to write that down.
Is that the
Up
one
in
in
Sacramento, that's the one.
I'd have to look at the agenda.
Yeah, I'm not doing
I
that
wasn't
anymore.
allowed.
That's a waste of time.
It was last year.
I'm not doing that
It
anymore.
has to be something that I'd be interested in for me to go.
Well, I have to go.
Nobody will even meet with us, let alone.
Well, you never know, there'll be new
We'll have a new
blood.
Assemblyman, so it might be
There'll be
worth-
different.
yeah.
Maybe, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, we'll have to see what develops.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
sure Keith will wanna meet with.
Then there's
Yeah.
the General Manager Leadership Summit in Newport Beach, July 12th and 14th. That's 2015.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
okay.
So you can drive down
Yeah.
there that far. CSDA's annual conference and exhibitors showcase is in Monterey, September 21st through 24th.
Okay, we voted that,
2015.
we'll probably have to switch our
And
meeting,
then
or meeting date, because that's usually the Thursday.
What day is that?
September 21st to the 24th. And I don't know, it's in 2015. I don't have a
Yeah,
calendar.
that'll probably be the week that we have our board meeting.
Mhm, I don't know.
It is the week of the board meeting.
And then I will be flying up to CSDA for a board meeting, 13th, 14th of November. So, but it doesn't fall on anything that's gonna work us. Also, oh, that's it for
Did you-
now.
Did you want to talk about the conference in Palm Springs as part of the CSDA? Or did we already do that last meeting?
I think we did last meeting, yeah. I didn't, it's my turn yet? No?
Well, anybody have any other meetings that they wanna report on?
Okay, so, ISDOC, Mike pretty much said where it is, which is exciting. And, Carol from, Nashville will be our speaker on the 30th
Okay.
for ISDOC luncheon. And, Waco meeting was not too adventurous. It was
It's
fine.
on October 3rd.
And then, I'm talking about right here,
She's
I
doing
know,
Sep-
that's what I'm talking about.
She's
October
doing
3rd.
September.
yeah. I was doing September.
That's it, last month.
Yeah, I'm always a month behind.
Okay, well.
Is everyone else
We're,
right on
we're
the
usually
Yeah, we're-
same
doing,
month?
Yeah.
we're usually doing the month we're in.
Month
See,
we're
I was
reporting on.
going to, but then I didn't do this one, so if
Snap-
you have this one.
Snap out of it, Marlene, come on.
Okay, so anyway, the liaison meeting, I had that for, the city water and us, and we hosted it. Costa Mesa Chamber Breakfast, did that one, the public hearing. This is all September, I'm sorry.
Go ahead and do October while you're at it.
I don't have it, I
Oh.
gave it to her. Costa and CSDA is, the conference that we had, and that was a good one in Palm Springs. And see, I have that on there now, and yet we reported on it last time. And that was an excellent one, that was the most people we've ever had, 600 people.
Yeah, it was very well
It
attended.
was just good in every fashion. I mean, I emailed them, all the different departments, and told them how it was just great. So, brought a lot to the table.
Good facility. Good
Yeah.
good
Everything just smooth.
Mhm.
And then just throw in on the Christmas party right now, we're talking about, having Ed Fawcett.
Yeah, that's on our agenda still.
Okay.
It's still on our agenda
Is it
coming
still
up.
on here?
What about Tom Brennan?
I was gonna talk about Tom, because Tom leaves the end of this month, like in another week.
Tom's leaving?
Tom
Yeah,
leaves.
he's retiring.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've, you know, he,
Does he live in Costa Mesa or close by?
Well, Ed doesn't live in Costa Mesa either,
Tom doesn't know.
but he's contributed to the
Oh,
success
yeah,
of the
yeah.
city.
So I didn't know what you wanted to
yeah,
do.
we don't have to, I just thought.
We can talk about that when we get, it's on our agenda tonight.
Okay, okay.
Did you want to talk about the Waco meeting on the 3rd?
No.
You
I
gonna
just-
wait?
I've got it, if you want it.
I mean, I got two. We were
Oh,
there.
okay.
We were there, just thought.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It was mostly about the water policy and the
Right.
update of the drought.
right.
And Catherine Cole was at
Mhm.
main speaker. You there, Mike?
No.
Just you and I. And
Just us.
I think Bob was.
No, I wasn't
just
there.
you
No,
and I.
it's
I was
just
in
you and I.
Texas.
So we could say anything
And
we
the
want.
capacity of the reservoirs in California is only 36%, which is really low. And we're really worried about it. And they talked about the Proposition 1, which has got the majority of support, I think, in California for it to pass, which is good. And it's like $7.1 billion. I think it's going to pass 1 and 2. And the snowpack is down to 15% of what it was
Yeah.
a
No,
couple
it's-
years ago.
it's
not a
bad.
year ago. And then, they talked about the water bond, $7.54 billion.
I could get my.
She did a real
notes.
good job speaking about it.
She did.
Yeah, normally,
She
but
did.
okay. We can add more to it next month when you talk about it
Yeah.
too.
You know, October 3rd, I was at the State Farm National Convention in Las
Right,
Vegas.
right.
And I'm happy to report I didn't see Diana going up and down the strip, so she must have been whatever. I didn't see her anywhere, so she must have been doing okay.
Was that conference pretty good?
Ours?
Yeah.
No.
Were you walking the street?
Bon Jovi was not allowed to sing his own songs.
Really?
Okay, other meetings? That's it. Old business? New business? Consider adopting a proclamation for Ed Fawcett, President, CEO of Costa Mesa Chamber. I'm in favor of that.
Have we told him about this yet?
Yes,
Okay, and we give him the date already?
yes.
Okay.
To save it,
We'll
We're
save
gonna
that
do
date.
it, we're gonna do it at the Christmas.
the 11th.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah, we'll do it the
Are we
Christmas
doing
party.
it, we're gonna
This
do it
is-
at a board meeting?
Wouldn't
No,
we
the
do it at
Christmas
the
party.
chamber breakfast so that everybody could?
You
See?
do adopt
I don't know if they have a
board
meeting in
and then you
December.
present it to.
No, they don't have a
to,
meeting in December.
At
They're
the
done.
holiday.
At the holiday,
Yeah,
our Christmas dinner. We invite him to come.
Yeah.
We give the proclamation.
He's actually not going to leave until January or February, I
Yeah.
think. So we could go to a breakfast or board meeting,
Yeah, he's
Chamber
gonna
meeting.
or
train
chamber meeting.
people, whoever it is.
But we can do it at the Christmas thing too, have
And
it
just
framed.
so-
and- Yeah,
Just so that you know, November, December's dark.
That's
from
what I
January.
said, they're
Yeah.
dark. So
Yeah.
we do it on December 11th. And we're gonna split his cost. And if he has we're each gonna throw in, what's the cost of it?
$35 and
I don't know yet. John's been on vacation, so we last time paid 25 all inclusive.
Correct.
oh,
So this is what I'm going for.
that's cheap.
With this guy, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
He just gets back tomorrow, so
But we
we'll
would
see.
pick up the cost of Ed and if he has someone coming with him.
Yeah, I don't think he will. But also, we'll just have it on I'll do a program like for you to speak, and then introducing people, and then,
Yeah.
also Scott will be on it for the awards like you like to put out, and then Ed could be on that at the same time.
Who's playing Santa Claus this year?
You like you always do. Have you been working on your end, Scott, about the awards with the staff?
Yeah,
Okay.
We're good to go.
Do you give?
I should have known better than to ask that
Yeah,
question.
that was like
I don't know.
loaded.
You know, I mean, he's been there 15 years.
Do they have a replacement?
Who?
plan
Tom, yes, Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle is the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, if you guys don't want to do that, that's fine. I just thought,
But
you
I
know,
mean,
he,
Ed is something else, because he's
Yeah.
been there for, what, 32 years or something?
Nothing.
no, 24 or 25, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, it's
yeah.
been a lot.
Okay, let's move along. New business, we already did that. Oral reports or oral communications and director comments. The only thing I would say is, and I know some of you know, Blake Anderson was the former general manager of the Orange County Sanitation District. He passed away kind of very quickly and unexpectedly about a couple of weeks ago. And they're going to have a November 8th, they're going to have a function for him to celebrate his life. But he was, as I said, I spoke last night at the Orange County Sand Board a little bit about him, and he was really a prime mover in the full secondary effort as well as the groundwater replenishment. I mean, he was kind of the father, one of the fathers of it, really. So he contributed a lot to that agency, and he was a good man on top of it, you know, so. Anyway, with that, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for your participation.
I appreciate you letting me talk about it last night.
Well, you know, I thought you could add some of that color, and you did. Yeah, you did a good job, Bob.
We got